Right now on 16 Morning News, sub-zero temperatures have settled in for today. You do not want to be caught in the cold. We'll share how you and your family can stay safe. Plus, we'll show you how South Bend school buses are helping those in need stay out of the cold.
And we're likely to see wind chill values as low as 50 degrees below zero sometime today. Stick around. I'll let you know if this continues right here on 16 Morning News.
You're watching WNDU TV. 16 Morning News starts now.
Well, it's going to be dangerously cold out there today, folks. Temperatures right now are at 11 below zero, and we are feeling more like 40 or more below zero with wind chill. It could get as low as 50 degrees below zero wind chill. Please, if you don't have anywhere to go today, simply don't. Stay at home. Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Tricia Sloma. We certainly hope you're staying warm this morning. We thank you for joining us. This is not the weather outdoors that you want to be caught in, so we're here today to make sure you are prepared. We have team coverage for you this morning on this extremely cold day. Joshua is out of studio at one of the many warming centers in our area. Melissa is standing by with information on how to stay safe in these sub-zero temperatures. But first, we want to head over to meteorologist David Harker. David, it is cold out there.
Yeah, this is something that we've been warning you folks.
And thank you, David. On top of the bitter cold, it's also a mess on the roads this morning with all the snow out there. Right now, travel watches are in effect for much of northern Indiana, as you can see indicated by the orange on the map. This means only necessary travel is advised, for example, maybe traveling to work or if you need to go to the doctor. Many places in Indiana and Michigan have also declared a state of emergency to keep residents safe. Staying warm is a priority today, and Joshua Short joins us now from the Charles Black Center. That's one of several warming centers that's open today for people who need to escape the cold. Good morning, Josh.
Yeah, Tricia, you said it. This is one of the many places you can stay warm. You can stay safe here. This is actually a place you can come to until 8 p.m. on Friday. So far, only one person has actually taken advantage, but that's good news because that means a lot of people are actually staying home. And hopefully, unless your power goes out or anything like that, you may not have to occupy centers like these. But you know what? This is not the only place for refuge. We're talking many places in our viewing area. Here in South Bend, we got a few more actually in these bitter cold temperatures to talk about. We're talking about the Civic Center being one of them. That's actually open as a warming center from 9 to 6 today and tomorrow. And Hope Ministries, they're also providing shelter from 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. daily. So from 8 at night till 8 in the morning, Hope Ministries is providing shelter for those of you who definitely need it. We want to go across Michiana, though, up in Niles, the Niles District Library. That's another location where you can go to for refuge if need be. They are open during business hours. We want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Faith Mission Shelter in Elkhart, that's also open. That's open through the end of March, so you got plenty of time to go there in case you need it. So many resources, so many places to stay warm, and we got an entire list on our website and on our app in case you need them for sure. One of the other warm places in our viewing area is the WNDU studios. Tricia?
Yes, it is warm in here, and it doesn't hurt that I'm wearing so many layers that it's kind of funny. All right, thank you, Josh. And we cannot stress enough just how important it is to be cautious in this extremely cold weather. A lot of you may never have experienced anything like this before. So that's why Melissa Stevens is joining us now with some important information to keep you and your family safe. Good morning, Melissa.
Good morning, Tricia. That's right. We are at Clay Fire this morning with Clay Fire Marshal Dave Sharon, and you are talking about really good ways to stay safe this morning. And one of those is if you are in your home, we know space heaters are being used a lot. So Tell us about that. You know, this is something that can cause fires, obviously.
All right. Even though the number of fires caused by space heaters or misuse of them has went down, it hasn't gone away. Manufacturers have kind of tried to make things better and safer. This particular unit, they all have tip-over switches. That's been in place since the 1960s. This one, as it states on the box, actually has a thermostat that if for some reason someone throws something over the front and it overheats, it shuts off before it can catch anything on fire. This one is really good for pets and kids because it says it's cool to the touch. So where this grate in here, as we checked earlier, gets about 250 degrees, so pretty easy for a small kid or a pet to get a burn from it. This does not. So this is a cool to the touch one. All of them need at least 3 feet all the way around to use them. They all say do not plug them into extension cords, plug them directly into an outlet. And one thing to kind of caution for is that if you attempt to put 2 space heaters onto the same circuit, it will trip the circuit, and you'll be thinking that the space heater's bad, and it's not. Only one heat producing thing at a time in an outlet. Making sure that you have working smoke detector and carbon monoxide detectors. And again, those are essential, and if you can't afford them, call your local fire department and they'll put them in. But
you cannot be too cautious. Great tips. Thank you so much. Actually, coming up within the next half hour, we're going to talk about the dangers of hypothermia and how you can stay safe if you do have to venture outside today. For now, reporting live in St. Joseph County, I'm Melissa Stevens, News Center 16.
Important reminders for sure. And with the extreme cold here, the South Bend Medical Foundation needs your help. They need blood donations. Several drives have already been canceled because of the weather. So if you do donate this week, you'll either get a gift certificate to Mimo's Pizza or a coupon book valued at $140. News Center 16 is your home for everything you need to know about the bitter cold. We're going to keep you updated on everything you need to know, from road conditions to all those closings. And for the information, just head to our website or our app, or just stay tuned to News Center 16. Still ahead, after the longest government shutdown in U.S. history, some freshman lawmakers are making their mark with a new proposal. We're going to explain the law they're calling the shutdown to end all shutdowns. And finally, it's our question of the day. On cold days like this, what gets cold on you first? Is it your nose, maybe the ears, fingers, or toes? Head to our website. Let us know your answer. 14 degrees below zero at this moment. This is the recorded number at the station right now. That means 35 to 45 degrees below zero with wind chill. Folks, this is dangerous cold. It is here, and we are hearing of power outages. This is the concern that so many people had. About 400 people are confirmed out in Shipshewana. We're hearing of other scattered outages thanks to our viewers on Facebook Live. We'll, of course, be keeping you up to speed on these numbers and also the life-threatening danger in these cold temperatures throughout the morning. Well, developing now, some freshman Democratic lawmakers are making their mark with a proposal to prevent government shutdowns. It's called Seize, or Shutdown to End All Shutdowns. This comes after President Trump's partial government shutdown, which ended last week. The president finally caved to bipartisan demands to reopen the government without funding for his border wall. The lawmakers say the Seize bill would require an automatic 30-day continuing resolution if Congress fails to agree on funding. If after 30 days Congress still fails to pass a spending bill, the law would impose penalties on lawmakers, which includes withholding pay. David?
Thank you, Tricia. Let's take.
All right, and we are hearing South Shore has suspended service for the day.
Okay.
We're also keeping you up to speed on those power outages. We're hearing LaGrange County, Shipshewana specifically, 400 people out. That's where I get concerned.
Yeah.
That's where we worry about folks without power and without a heat source.
Yeah,
So,
I can only imagine what that's like. I mean, it sends chills down my spine thinking that people don't have heat in this.
yeah, this is a concern for sure, and we're going to keep you up to speed on that breaking news story. Thank you, David.
Yeah.
5:46 coming up. The music industry is mourning the death of an R&B legend, James Ingram. We're going to take a look back at his phenomenal life and career. Plus, the cold weather does not mean some of you can skip out on work. We'll tell you why you still need to follow the rules of your job despite the weather.
And speaking of this weather, Tricia, what about your four-legged friends? We've got some important and helpful tips to keep them safe during this frigid cold coming up.
It's 14 below zero. Yeah, wind chill is 35 to 45 degrees below zero. And with the deep freeze, make sure you're paying close attention to your pets. Joshua joins us again from the Charles Black Center to tell us about some helpful information to keep your pets safe in this frigid cold.
Yeah, there are some extra responsibilities for those pet owners for sure, Tricia, especially if your pet likes to go outside a lot. We want to, again, remind you to keep them indoors as much as possible. Most importantly, don't keep your dogs out long if they have to go out. We know they got to use the washroom. We get that. But after that, bring them right back in. And as you bring them in, make sure you wipe those paws off because they could get chemicals on them like antifreeze or things like that. Also, keep an eye out for road or sidewalk salt. That can get in your pet's paws and cause them to be irritated. And whether the temperatures are 30 above or 30 below, the law actually states that pets must have adequate shelter.
We have free straw here at the shelter to help with outdoor animals, dogs and cats living outside, to keep them insulated and warm. You also want to make sure that your pets have plenty of food and water during the cold weather and that the water's not freezing. So you're going to want to make sure that the water's put in plastic bowls or rubber bowls, and heated bowls are best.
Now, if your outdoor pets need somewhere to go, free boarding is available at the St. Joseph County Humane Society, the Humane Society of St. Joe County, that is. And so be aware of that. Be prepared. Make sure that everyone is safe and make sure your pets are safe out there. It's cold, Tricia.
The cold weather that we need to talk about today, this does not automatically give workers a free pass to stay home. While the city of South Bend imposed a travel advisory, the restrictions do not apply to driving back and forth to work.
At-will employees can be terminated basically for anything, right? It's as long as it's not discriminatory and it doesn't fall under a couple small classes, they can let you go. So if your employer says you need to be here, you probably need to be here.
If a business does shut down voluntarily, the law requires salaried workers to be paid. There is no such requirement for hourly workers. Hey, it's a sad day in the music world. R&B star James Ingram has died at the age of 66. Ingram was the smooth, soulful voice behind hits like Just Once and I Don't Have the Heart. He played with musical legends including Ray Charles, Barry White, and Dolly Parton. He was also nominated for an Oscar back in 1983 for Best Original Song for his duet with Patti Austin titled How Do You Keep the Music Playing? The cause of death has not been released. Well, our question of the day is all about the cold. On cold days like this, what gets cold first? Is it your nose, your ears, fingers, or toes? I would have to say my fingers or my nose. Let us know by heading to our website, WNDU.com. We're going to bring you the results in our 6:30 half hour. Coming up, we're going to take another look at weather as we begin our final hour of news. We'll be back with this important edition of 16 Morning News. Stay with us.